Right, then I will use these 3 minutes wisely, because I can also just give a little bit of an idea of what's in the notes, so we all are already in the vibe of what happened yesterday. At first we started talking about that we've simply had a lot of challenges, and but in a way we have challenges everywhere, and being challenged we are amongst the living, so indeed what are our priorities and what have we realized over the last 9 months. Then there was a story of sharing your IP or not willing to share your IP. Is this Bill Melton, billionaire, going to really help out? He says I'm in, around the Synergy engine, but I understand that there is still some stuff going on there with OneSphera. There was this realization that it's important that we do not throw the baby out with the bathwater. So there are certain teachings, certain learnings from current society which can still apply here, which will actually, these best practices help us out to achieve what we want to achieve. And that there's this importance of having creative tension, or sometimes what might even be called conflict, because this is what drives innovation. And regarding the priorities, I've noted 3, but I guess there's 4. The first one I have is let's not fight the power structures and find out what are these power structures, what social capital, cultural capital do we have in our space as well, because all this will simply bring a lot of clarity to also how to move things forward. We need to know about these power structures if we want to implement anything really. Like even if we want to make a decision now, if we don't have the power to make any decision, like how are we going to move forward? So this is really important. Then there's indeed the thing about the locations. So which locations do we have available to us, and or which what are the alternatives? Then there's the clear narrative. There's also how do we communicate when we're in long distance contact with each other? How do we stay up to date? How do we know what is relevant for this other party? And what I also wrote down was to work on the self-location, and I think that there's a part of it in which we want to maybe design something, and then there's a part of clarifying what we already have. Yep, that's it.
Hello, I'm Tatiana. I really liked that Simon brought yesterday. This analogy was a startup company. And from this point of view, for me, priority would be able to move to the next phase or to next location, or even stay here, but with this group. Because, of course, if we get scattered or whatever, we will all have this amazing experience, learning and personal development. But as a group, we will lose this experience. And for me, it is very important to continue this journey somehow together. So from this point of view, finding other location and be able to move forward as a group, this is important for me. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Shannon MacArthur. Priorities. For me, my priority at this moment has to do with practicalities. I have to leave. Going down to reception to cover and do my community bit. This is one of the things that we have to do when we're in community, is give of ourselves, our time. And the practical matters are really important, because what we create here is what is going to live on here and other places, because this is a seed and it's being planted in other places like Boulder, Colorado. they're going through the same things as we are. That's because it is happening all over the world. And it doesn't have to be our responsibility because it's already happening. If we can manage, though, to focus and capture our experience, we can ride this wave. That's what we're here for, is to get on the surfboard that we create and then just ride it. And so I'm going to go and sit at reception now. And I wish you the very best of luck in figuring this all out. Thanks.
Okay, so today is I Ching chapter Mastery of the Chaos. Make unstructured legions workable. Chapter 47. This is gene key number 7. So if we contemplate on that, this brings us to the core of why we are coming together here, and this should be also actually our priority, I guess, to master this chaotic situation. And whatever is coming up needs to be looked at, and this would be my priority for the group, to really face what's there and not to shy away of looking also at ugly things or things that are considered to be ugly or bothersome. They are not bothersome, they are not ugly, they are just needed there to bring us on our path. And yeah, I also think we should see what's actually in the field and not discuss it, but just look at it. For example, what is Jan doing? What is Yuri doing? What is Amanda doing? What is whoever doing? And to stay connected with all these different approaches that are valuable for us without trying to name them too closely in a way that we think might be appropriate. I would also like to suggest to go into a discussion about, into an exploration of how can we make our daily life more valuable for all of us, also for the community. So this would be a priority for me. It's called embodiment, probably, and onboarding, but yeah, I really want to make this happen together with you. Thanks.
Okay, I'm Martijn. Last 9 months have been very interesting, challenging. I think as a group we learned a lot. We got close together. Sometimes we drifted away a bit, got back together again. And I hope after this 9 months that we will still be able to keep in touch one way or another. So that the information that we gathered here doesn't go away and that it will still be shared, and that we will see what everybody does with the experience that we got here. Yeah, I think the last 9 months were a good experience to see where what is going wrong now, what is going right, and that way we can make a good plan about what we will do in the future. I think. That's it.
Hello, I'm Alexander. Yeah, harmony, music, a life of music is a priority. I hope that tonight in the building, in the atrium, we can have a little music making with everybody from the building. I'm going to make some invitation to that I'll hang up. Today is in the Mayan calendar. It's the yellow spectral sun, the 11th day in the wave spell of the dog, of the heart. And the 11th day is about letting go, releasing, liberating, also inviting the chaos in, inviting everything that has not been in the manifestation of yesterday back in, so that it becomes full. And the sun is about our highest ideal. It's about Christ consciousness, about unification, about language of light. And it's about solar mastery, so that fits nicely with the Yu Jing chapter of today, the mastery of the chaos. I had an image a little while before of us on a ship, knowing each other quite well already after these 9 months of quite a arduous journey. We know a little bit what everybody's doing, and we're still there on the ocean, still gliding along. And I try to live a little bit with the day. I still have a confidence that we will be staying here, and that after the 31st of March it continues here. And I may take a little holiday when that is clear, but I feel it will go on here, and I stay with that feeling. I think that when each of our contributions comes and shines through more and more, that the purpose of being together becomes clearer and clearer. Today is another valuable step in that, in trying to voice a little, so we know of each other what our deep felt longings and intentions are, and so we can grow together in the light and the music. That's it.
Hello, I'm Robert. The last 9 months and the period before that was extremely valuable. I experienced it as a very important learning and growth process. This morning I asked myself some questions why we did not, or why we have not made this next shift to the next level, or where we now are at. For me, we started as a trinity here. We came here with 3 groups: Mason, United Earth and New Map, and other groups and energies followed. So silos joined together, membranes opened, and committed to each other to create a synergy hub, and also disconnected to the movement of movements concept, and Mason as a facilitator, and to manifest the synergy hub. So that went pretty well, very interesting period, some ups and downs, up to some conflicts. Then we experienced some ego, power and control mechanism kicking in, and it's not about blaming, or it's just about seeing things as they are. Mason wanted to control the situation. On the United Earth track, this movement of movements trajectory went on somewhere else, and not here at the Synergy Hub. And New Map did not deliver this potential tooling, sharing tool, but they scaled up to another silo, formed silo. So what happened? Membranes closed again, and my conclusion is that the group isn't not mature enough now to make it to the next phase. So we have to address this ego, power and control mechanism for the next phase. So the next step is for me to come to very clear and transparent agreements when we go on, either here or another location, doesn't matter where it is, Berlin or here in Rotterdam. I think that's the first step. The second step is to create enough conditions for the glue between this coherence for holding the space for all the groups, to keep the membranes open. A third step is for me being aware of this process and guiding it, in a way that it really makes sense. And last thing is open or upgrade our communication level. So,
And do you mean internal or external communication?
well, I think both.
I feel that some of the priorities are, I think, similar to what Robert already said, that we really need to start having some embodiment guidelines and values and principles. I would call it embodiment, but that we can co-create maybe and agree upon, so that for the next location we do have, hey, these are some universal basic values, you know, this is how we work with emotional tension, and when you come into this field, we at least strive to work with emotional tension in this way. And then for me personally, I really am very low on money. So I think it's, for me, a priority would also be how can we manifest resources for all, so that we can also all move to a next location if there is a next location. And I know the social architecture team in Colorado is focusing on creating that proposal to fund the whole system, you know, to fund the container for synergy, first of all. So maybe we could do something together with them, but in any case, that's a question for me. And then the next priority is, I want to know more what's going on with buying the building. And with Anthony, I think we need to stay in clear touch with him. I don't know, does he give updates every now and then about the juridical case? And okay, that's good. And then another priority maybe would be to do some harvesting circles, so that we have specific circles focused on, okay, what have we learned in these 9 months? What have we experienced? What have we seen in terms of pitfalls? And really harvest, you know? And I think a lot will come out of that, more than what we know and see now, I think, if we do that in interaction with each other. And then, this is related to what we said yesterday, but I think getting more clarity on what S7 is important. And then also, yeah, developing an onboarding process, co-creating that with each other. And to see our own power, role and function within the whole. Maybe to empower ourselves, like really reflect on, hey, what have I been doing these 9 months? What is kind of my natural power or my natural role within the whole? So we basically sort of start self-locating ourselves. To a certain extent, of course. And then finally, I think when we do go out of this building to another location, I would also want to know, how do we gracefully sort of end that with Meisteren? And how do we communicate that? And I think we need, and I think we also need to come into coherence with this, with the new map team. Because I think Tan, for instance, is, I know that Brad doesn't feel like he still needs to be in this building, but Chris and Tan are both really like, whatever option is there, you know? If we can stay here, we can stay, or maybe we'll move to somewhere else, and this can still be an international kind of meta hub, or they're just open to what unfolds. And I think we need to get coherent on how we want to move forwards with this building, depending on what happens. And communicate that very clearly and respectfully to Meisteren as well. And also with gratitude, I think.
Hi, I'm John Kellis. Priorities at this moment. Idealism and pragmatism. For me, a priority is keeping focused on pragmatism. Priority for me is, for myself and for everyone here, to know what other people they're working with So Holon's teams, there's been lots of teams mentioned over the last while, social architects, C-fractal, meta architect, embodiment, communications, etc. There's a whole list of different teams or functional Holons that have been mentioned, and I think that there's been a challenge because this is a community that invites and challenges people to live their efficacy and live their passions and to just do stuff from themselves of their own volition. But we fit into the field. For me, it's a priority that everyone in this room is clear what functional Holons they're part of. And tech, for me, another priority is that we differentiate between, call it natural authority, call it experience, call it, I don't really believe in talent, but there are some people that have put in a lot of time and gathered expertise on stuff. And for example, in the tech Holon, to ensure that there is a set of people that have the expertise to quality assurance, to sort of check and balance each other, and to have those checks and balances in the other Holons as well. Thanks.
I appreciate everybody's priorities. I'm John, by the way, JJ. But just the one thing I want to say is that to me, thank you very much. To me, there should be like one priority right now, and that's a new location. You know, if we don't focus on that one priority, there's a good chance that all those other priorities aren't going to matter. So that's all I want to say.
I've been looking into, and I still haven't figured it out actually, how to actually set a priority. And I think indeed that is something we can all learn still, because indeed we now have a big list. And I think that it's very good actually that we will have all these priorities, and somehow I just wanted to also express I find it very important that we have either 1 or 3 priorities right now, and that we can actually say, okay, this is what we're going to work on, and that we keep the other priorities in mind. For instance, being pragmatic about it is something we can apply on all things that we do. So, yeah, that's also